Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
She and her team really are all things metaphysical. And I really do mean all things. So many different directions, from sound therapy to spiritual connection to even right down to, foot detox at their center in Connecticut. They even do massage. All things to support you, including gemstones and crystals. We're going to look at that today. Going to learn a lot. I have a feeling. I've learned so much in the times that we've gotten together with her. She's the woman behind Stardust Blessings Metaphysical, and that is located in Orange, Connecticut. And she's back with us, and she's Michele Scalpi on the program once again. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you today?
Really good, really good. I knew of stones, gems, crystals, all of that for a while, but I only started digging deeper into it in the last 3 years, somewhere around there. And I don't know a lot. That's my thing. I'm one of those people. I don't want to know, like astrology. I skim the surface. I don't want to know. Just you give me what I need. You're the professional. If you're an astrologer, if you're, gemologist, or whoever that person is with the crystals, just tell me what I need to know. How did you get interested in all of this?
The crystals I got into originally because they were pretty. They were sparkly and pretty, and I just liked the feel of them and having them on me. And then as I grew in my spirituality and studies and research, I understood the reason why I was attracted to certain ones. And I started becoming more attracted to stones that I wouldn't normally like brown stones or black stones. Like quartz crystal is my favorite now. And that it's kind of more of it's a staple, but it's more of a plain stone that people don't realize what it does for you. The properties of the stones, it's like a frequency or energy of anything. It's a living thing. And when you focus into it, you can literally bring that frequency right into your body. So like crystals for purification. And I've went through a huge transformation and purification process as a human. So
liking what you're saying there. And how do we, let's say purification, and you can interpret that any way you want, just cleaner living, just cleaning up, relationships, all of that. Where would you begin?
I mean, for me, I like to meditate with crystals. I just kind of hold them and I focus in on them and go into meditation. When I go into meditation, the way I was taught to go in was to not overthink things, to go into the meditation and just be guided. And I found that with crystals, I can hold on to them and focus in on them, fall into the meditation, and they will bring me on different journeys in meditation.
Wow. There's a different approach that I was never even aware of. That's super cool. I've heard that when you meditate, that you should have an intention. Now, there's some times where you just I'm just clearing my mind, whatever comes up. But somebody told me that if you're having challenges with that, have an intention. All right, so I'm going to meditate on challenge that I have in my life, and wait to get the answer. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. So if I were to have like a creative block and I wanted to use meditation to help clear that, I would grab like a piece of carnelian. Carnelian is great for your passions and creativity. It's connected to your sacral chakra, which is all your passion. They consider the sacral like the womb of your creation. So I would hold on to that, focus into it, and let that property and energy come into me. And like if I sit and meditate and let it guide me, I start to get creative ideas.
How do you know what crystals to use? I guess your experience, this is what you do. So you just know, I'm going to do this. I need to pick that one out.
Yeah. You could always ask somebody in one of the stores if you don't know them, or Google. Google's a great resource to find out the properties of the stones. There's so many sources there.
My biggest challenge is I will go somewhere and I'll buy, I'll get a bunch of stones and then I forget what they are. And then I just grabbed a handful sitting right over here. I don't even know what they are, but I know when I got them, and this was just last summer, that I was intentional about reading in the crystal store. Oh, this one. Oh, this one sounds good. Oh, that one. That fits me. And then I would, and just tell me if you feel this way over the tray, or it could it could be one type of stone, and there's a couple of trays of it, and I would just run my hand going back
Yeah.
and forth. Which one? Oh, that one feels. I'm pulled to it, or it feels warmer. Oh, that's the one. I'll take that one. Put it in the bag. But I forget which ones they are. Drives me
Yeah.
crazy.
A lot of people do that, and like we have a huge clientele, and that's a big thing that we talk about. And I encourage people not to buy a ton at once, or buy them for the same type of purpose of whatever you're working on, and then use them as a tool. And to take them home and have them in your home, I believe me, I have crystals all over my house. I have a giant collection of crystals, and I love them. I think they're beautiful. I love specimens and rare specimens and things like that. But the ones that you use as tools, like tumbles and little, they have little carvings and stuff you could just carry around with you. Those are the ones you want to use as tools. So when you buy them, buy it with the intent of working on something that is associated with that stone. Carry the stone with you. We always encourage people with anxiety problems to carry around amethyst. Amethyst are rose quartz. And so many people tell us that they can't believe how easy it works. They will pick it out of their pocket, rub it a little bit, and focus in on the stone, and the anxiety will go away.
Wow.
Sometimes you have to do it multiple times. You have to just keep focusing on the energy until your brain basically starts to think about the amethyst in your pocket, and you don't even have to bring it out. So that's how they
Wow.
work.
You know, can I share my rose quartz story with you?
Yes.
I'll make it as short as I can, real quick. Um, Visited a friend in another state. He moved, and we're just, a bunch of us were all hanging around in town, and he's into, collecting rocks, whatever it is. So it was a gem store. I go in there, pull out a couple of things. I get a bunch of rose quartz. I think they're cool. My mom's name was Rose. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and my daughter had to go to the hospital. And we got there, and there was valet parking. She was already in. There's valet, and she's a teenager. There was valet parking, and the valet parker could have been more like 21. He comes up, takes my car. He's like, "Oh man, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. That's just great. Thank you." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yeah, you have a rose quartz hanging from your rear view mirror. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. I love that. I love that stone, and I'm going to put it on my mirror." I had done it that morning, and just with my mom in mind, and I just hung it there and everything. And I reach in my pocket, and I hand him, "Hey dude, you know what, I got an extra one here, take a rose quartz. Oh man, thanks." Go into the hospital. They tell me that they don't have a room for my daughter. It could be a day, conditions not so great.
Yeah.
And I just go out into the hallway, and I just pray to my mom, like, "Mom, can you do something, please?" And 30 minutes later, nurse comes out. "We got a room for your daughter. Everything's great." I'm like, "Oh, wonderful."
Yeah.
Here's the cherry on top of the story. The nurse assigned to my daughter was Rose, and my mom's maiden last name. So Rose, okay, one thing, exact same name. And then I see my daughter, a day later, we're talking, and I'm like, "So how's that Lady Rose?" She goes, "Oh, she's real nice. She just passed by." And I look, and I'm like, "Well, that doesn't look like your doctor." "No, that's a lady. Her name is Rose. She just comes by here and checks on the patients." And so there's two Roses, and it all came from that moment of the rose quartz.
Wow. Wow.
Coincidence? I don't think that's a coincidence, but
I
and
don't.
that's
I don't believe in coincidences.
me either.
I stop believing in them, because when you start to become aware and you start paying attention to everything, there's just no way. It's mathematically impossible, the way things turn out sometimes.
I completely agree, and I'll take that to my end. That, I mean, come on, the nurse. That's one of many involving the name Rose, my mom, but to have the nurse of the same name. Um,
Yeah.
well, I'm holding. I don't know what this is, and I don't know if it's going to display properly. Um,
See,
sort
from
of.
here, it looks like quartz, but it looks like there's something else in it.
It's got sort of a clear quartzy look, but it's got like sort of an orangey look to it. Any idea what that is?
The orangey red could be like it could be from like a fire quartz or hematoid quartz. It's a little bit of iron deposit in there. It's like hematite or iron deposit in the quartz.
Yeah, I don't know if it's probably not focusing that well on it. And
Usually, when there's like a red or an orangey inside quartz, it's usually a hematoid quartz or fire. They call it fire quartz. The brighter the red, depends on the locality. Brazil has some more really banging red color that's almost like an orange, and so does Morocco.
hmm, what does that one that represent typically?
Um, Fire quartz, people use that to build up their passions and purification. The quartz is always for purification.
Hmm.
It's basically to help purify your energy, to bring forth your passions, to help you get on the right track to where you want to be.
Now, and we get right back to the purification talk.
Yeah,
um,
that's quartz. Yeah.
what's that one looking like to you? I know it's hard to see. It's probably this. It looks darker
Is
than.
that like a green and a red?
Yeah, but it's also got a, and I'm gonna put more of a light on it to get a better view of it. Um, it's more of a sort of a. I don't know. That's not gonna work. um, more of just a little bit of like purple in there, darker tones, very cloudy looking stone. That's a
The,
tough one. Yeah, because it's
yeah,
hard.
the green and the red is usually like a dragon's blood, like a jasper.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is I've heard this, and I don't know if this is true or not, that the reason crystals resonate with us because we have crystals in us,
They say we're crystalline. Yeah. Yep.
right?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
pretty amazing. And there's actually a crystal called Vivianite, and it's basically from decomposed humans turning back to crystal. It's a really cool crystal, but that's what
Wow.
they from.
How does the now we believe everything is a vibration, right? And crystals obviously are vibrating. And is it the vibration that brings the certain properties to them?
Everything has a frequency. So when you're tuning into a crystal, you're tuning into its frequency. You would really have to break it down scientifically to its properties to find out what frequency it is, which that's what they've done over years. Um, they break things down under microscopes to see what properties are in each stone, and they know what frequency the properties emit. So that makes up
Huh.
the structure of the stone.
Wow. Wow. How do you connect to the vibration of the stone?
Focus, just like we were talking about intention before. Your intention, like there was the double slit experiment which proved that our focus and intention on things changes things from waves to particles that which manifest. That was an experiment that was like groundbreaking to see how humans really interact in the world and their thoughts and intentions.
Can you ever go wrong with a mix of crystals? Like never put these two together because
There's people that say that, but I don't believe that. I've never experienced that, and I haven't seen any evidence to show not to put anything together. I think it's a lot. It's based on your intention and your focus on what you want out of those crystals. So if you want one crystal for to bring you closer to something, and the other crystal that wants to bring prosperity, and one for purification, you put them together. As long as that's your focus, that's what's gonna kind of manifest around you.
you just bought kind of creepy, weird. You dropped a memory in my mind that, and this is to illustrate exactly what we're talking about. When I was a kid, I'm talking like 8 years old, always wanted to be on the radio. So you could build a crystal radio, and it was a kit, and it used a crystal. But here's the I guess the amazing part of it: it didn't have a battery. It
Oh,
used the vibration of a crystal and a coil to receive AM radio stations. And you would just put
that's,
this little earphone thing on, and then you would just tune a little bit. And using that crystal, it would pick up stations. So I was messing with crystals when I was just a few years old and didn't even realize it. Um, Here that led me to where I am here today. I'm not even kidding. That it started
yeah.
building a crystal radio. And
Yeah.
just to illustrate your point about the vibration, radio signals are vibrations, and then we receive them, and that crystal had to be vibrating at the same frequency to receive the radio station and do it in such a way that there was no battery.
Yeah, absolutely. And it probably had an effect on you as well because you were vibrating. You're manifesting what you wanted to do, and here you are. You worked with that crystal. Quartz crystals, especially, pick up information. They're amazing for picking up information wherever they come from in the earth. A lot of people like to meditate with quartz crystals. I have a lot of inclusions because the inclusions are information that is collected.
What type of what's an inclusion, first of all?
Inclusions are those little, like you'll see a piece of quartz that's crystal clear and there's nothing in it. You don't see anything. And then you see another one that almost looks like sometimes like spider webs or flashy parts. It looks like it almost was broke inside, or that's an inclusion.
Wow. Okay. So now I'm getting a download. Those are often used when describing diamonds.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I might have, the clarity,
Yeah.
the four C's, the cut, the clarity, carrot. Wow.
With quartz, like if there's no inclusions in it, it's more rare to get. The bigger the piece of quartz with no inclusion in it is very rare to find. So they are worth more. But most people that work with crystals want the ones with the inclusions in it because that's where the information is.
So I had to look this up. What type of crystal is in a crystal radio? I don't know if you've even heard of this. Galena, Galena. It's a mineral form of lead sulfide or something.
Yeah, galena is a mineral.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it says right here.
Wow, that's impressive. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought it would use quartz because they use quartz like in watches. They use quartz in electronics.
right. I was thinking the same exact thing. As soon as you said quartz, I was like, oh, it's probably a quartz. That's what they use in
Yeah,
these radios. But yeah, how interesting. Um, so weird the things you learn.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
tell me,
Interesting.
tell me about this bad boy right over here,
Se-
selenite. Right?
Selenite. That's one of my favorite stones, selenite.
Is it true that this is used to recharge other crystals?
Yeah, you could use that to recharge other crystals. It's associated heavily with Archangel Michael and cutting cords, energetic cords. Like when I do healings, a lot of times I go over people with selenite to cut cords from addictions and bad habits and depression, anxiety. And it just kind of purifies and clean. It works as a purifier too. They call it more of a scrubber stone than a purifier like quartz. But it kind of scrubs the negative energy away from you and cuts those cords. Obsidian's used for cord cutting, but selenite is one of the keystone crystals that people usually have, especially healers.
So I know there's a process for cord cutting, and you can find YouTube videos on it, et cetera, et cetera. And there's certain things you can say to cut the cord. Oh, side note, what are we talking about? Cutting the connection to so the negative connection to someone. I think that's the best description I have of cord cutting.
Yeah. Someone or something.
Something. Thank you. Thank you. Do you need to have this whole process, or can I just take this and with the intent that I put into it, I want to cut the cord to insert name and just, use it as if I'm like almost like a sword and I'm a scissor.
That's exactly how you're supposed to use it. That's exactly the way.
But without, I don't remember all the phrases,
No, you don't need all you don't need all that. Your intention is what it is.
right.
And it's great that people read things and get ideas from other people, and that's really key because a lot of things that I've learned was from reading books from other people and what they were doing. but you always want to do any kind of ritual work or healing work. You want to make it your own. You want to be the creator of what you're doing, and you will get the most effect out of it. If you
That
just copycat somebody else, you're taking somebody else's creation to do it. You want to create it yourself. It has more
this
meaning.
this is such a resonating moment. It really is, because I look at those videos and I'm like, I can't remember how to do it. And it just doesn't feel right. But when I take this right now and I'm thinking of somebody who I want to cut the cords to,
Yep.
right? I'm like fully full, like this is a lightsaber, and I'm fully plugged into it. And I don't mean that in a negative way. And I do
Yep.
believe if you're going to cut the cords, you shouldn't be waving it around the stick of selenite and saying, you blanking son of a blanket, blah, 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 blah. No, you should be doing it with love. Thank you for the lessons that you taught me. I wish you love and light. But we're not connected anymore. And, I wish you all the best, but we're done here. That type of thing for
Yep.
me, that's real. Like I'm getting it. Like I'm feeling it.
Yep.
I'm even visualizing the cords that are being cut from this person. So what you just said, I really think is impactful. It's the intent you put in and making it your own, as opposed to just copying somebody else's. Maybe that's a starting point, but not the
Well,
whole thing.
you made a good point too with what you're saying. You don't want to do something, especially energetically and spiritually, and use negative a negative way to do it. The best and most effective way to do it is to say thank you. It was great. We're done now, kind of thing,
Right.
and not use negative speak to get rid of it,
Yeah,
because you're placing negativity on it, which is a lack of frequency. A negative energy is a lack of frequency. That's all it is.
Is it a lack of frequency, or is it just a low frequency, low vibration?
Well, low vibration would be a lack of frequency. So you have like a say a 432 is a 432 hertz.
Hertz, right?
The thing is a negative 432. If you're supposed to be resonating at a 432 hertz and your vibration starts to lower, that means the 432 is lowering, and it's becoming a lack of frequency. See what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying. This is
So
going to be like tomato, tomato.
the
But is
frequency is
it?
fading out. It's not
It's
becoming negative, it's just fading out from you. And where there's no frequency, there's no high vibration. And we're supposed to vibe high. We're supposed to have a high vibration.
for sure, for sure. But
That's
does it mean that the frequency is gone? Albeit, okay, that one frequency could be gone. It's a higher vibration. Just saying. Or is it when you start talking negative and all of that, you're just lowering your frequency? You're still vibrating. You can't stop vibrating. Everything. This
yeah.
pen is vibrating no matter what I do. It's got a frequency.
Yes, it's still vibrating, but it's just lowering your.
Lower.
So if you're vibrating, say hypothetically 3 feet outside your body, and you start with the negative stuff, it starts to come in closer to you because it's not penetrating outward.
Okay.
Not
So
spreading outward, is coming more in, and you're not affecting anything that's vibrating around you. Does that make more sense?
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because I was taking that as there's no vibration. Well, if there's no vibration, even and even a being who doesn't exist anymore, somebody did
Yeah,
just pass, they're vibrating still. It's just a
exactly.
different vibration. But I get what you say. We're not emanating. We're not transmitting further. It's a closed situation and a low situation.
Yeah, I mean, even my bowls, like my crystal bowls, really react to something that is a lower vibration. When you apply, like these bowls sound beautiful, but if you apply it to something that has a very low vibration, it screeches. Like it sounds like nails on a chalkboard to me. And you can hear the screech in the bowl. It doesn't sound anything like what the bowl sounds like. And
Wow.
it's trying to bring a vibration into an area that's a lower vibration and maybe a stale. It's been there a
I,
long time, so it's kind of a stale, voided area. You're
I
trying to
gotcha.
apply that vibration into it, so it takes a little time sometimes.
We've tried putting that sound on here so that we could hear it, and it doesn't. Zoom doesn't allow it, but I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
In a creepy way. That's really cool. Learned a lot today. Michelle, how do we connect with you if somebody has questions?
We have our website, stardustblessingsmetaphysical.com. We're on TikTok under Stardust_magical.herbs and Stardust_social 2.0. We spend a lot of time on TikTok doing live shows. We take people all over the place. We've gone out to the Denver show and done live sales. We were one of the first on TikTok doing the live sales. So that's a big outlet for us. We got more popular on there when COVID hit because businesses were shut down.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, you do so much. And thank you for today. Learned so much, validated as well. And if you'll excuse me, I have some work to do with this bad boy right over here. We're gonna a couple cords I got to get rid of. Thanks again for being here. Really appreciate it. Looking forward next time we get together.
all right. Thank you so much, Steve. Have a wonderful day.
You too. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.